Hey everybody, today I'm going to share with you how I named my company Chic Sparrow, so stay tuned for that. I'm glad you're here with me today. I thought I would address a question that I get asked quite often, which is, how did I name my company Chic Sparrow? So let me just start with the story. In January of 2014, I got very, very sick and I lost a lot of blood, and I was trying to tough it out because I don't like going to doctors. I don't like going to emergency rooms. I don't like people touching, prodding me, all that stuff. The same things you don't like, I don't like. And I didn't want to go, and I collapsed on the floor, and my husband had to pick me up and help me to the couch. And he wanted to take me to the doctor, and I said, no, I'm fine. I just need to rest. And I could tell that he was listening to me, but he didn't want to listen to me. I knew he wanted to take me to the doctor, and I was terrified to go. I didn't want to go. And this actually went on for several days. And on the last day, which was a Thursday, I collapsed again, and I couldn't even get up. I was so weak, and my blood pressure was like through the roof, and I could just hear like my blood in my ears, and I could hardly breathe. And I wasn't having a heart attack or anything. I had just lost so much blood. And so my husband's like, I don't care what you say, I'm taking you to the emergency room. And that's exactly what he did. Backed the truck up onto our lawn, right to the front door, and he carried me out the door and put me in there. He didn't give me a choice, and he took me to the emergency room. And I'm glad he did, because he saved my life. When I got to the emergency room, they told me that if I had waited like 12 more hours, I would have been dead. So I have not told this story publicly before, so excuse me. That was a very scary day, and it was actually in the evening. It was around 6 o'clock in the evening that I was admitted into the hospital. I didn't know what was wrong with me, only that I had lost a lot of blood, and I knew that, and I explained to the doctor the symptoms that I had been having. He did a whole bunch of tests on me. I was in the emergency room itself for about 8 hours, and then finally they brought in another doctor who took me in for surgery that I had that night. As soon as they were done with their surgery, they gave me a blood transfusion. Actually, they gave me 2 blood transfusions, and they kept me overnight so that they could keep me under observation. And I think it was around 3 o'clock in the morning that my husband and daughter said that they were going to go home and get some rest, because I'd just come out of surgery, and they were giving me the blood transfusion at that time. And I did not know I was going to get emotional. Sorry. I should have had tissue. I just want to say thank you to whoever donated the blood that I received. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm going to try and pull myself together. When I say that I am grateful for my life, I hope you understand I am so, so grateful. So if you have the ability to donate blood, you should, because it saves lives, and I know it saved mine. And anyway, after that surgery, I thought everything was fine, and a week later, I went into my doctor for a follow-up on that surgery, and she did some more tests, and I went home. I was still very, very weak, because even though they gave me the blood transfusion, it didn't replace all the blood that I lost. It just basically gave me enough to keep living, and they were going to allow my body to produce the blood that I needed so that my blood volume would be up to where it needed to be. So I was still very, very weak, and I went in. She did some tests, and she called me that night, and she said that the problem was still persisting and I needed to have another surgery. And so she scheduled me for surgery, another emergency surgery the next day, and I went in bright and early the next day. She did the second surgery, and after that I was just convalescing for like, it felt like forever. It took a long time for my blood volume to go back up to normal and for me to get my energy back. Now that you know that part of the story, let me tell you. Hopefully I'll stop crying now. I've never told that story publicly before. I've only ever told it to family and a few close friends. So that was like really not an easy story for me to tell. But going through that traumatic experience, and after that I was convalescing, and I needed to journal. And so I had gotten out my journals, and I was on the internet and I was looking at stuff, and I found the Traveler's Notebook, and I had to have one, and I thought, well, it looks simple enough, I think I can make it. And then I found Ray Blake's video on how to make your own Traveler's Notebook, and I had some leather, so I followed his instructions and I made my own. And that little piece of leather with paper notebooks inside, it helped my recovery so much, and I just felt so blessed and happy for it. And it wasn't long after that that people that I had shared my photos with, they asked if I could make them one. And every day more and more people were asking, so I decided to make an Etsy store. And so when I was picking out the name for my Etsy store, I kept going back to the Bible verse that I kept reading, which was, that God keeps his eye on the sparrow. And it just made me think, that God takes care of these little birds. They don't migrate during the winter. They stay around in the harsh weather, and they always have shelter. They always have food, and they're always there again in the spring, to make more little sparrows, and, they just do their thing, and God takes care of them. Nothing they do goes unnoticed by him. So that verse gave me great comfort, because am I not more important than a small little sparrow, that he would take care of me too? Well, of course. So that just really stuck with me, that little bird, and I just really kind of attached myself to that little sparrow. And then I was trying to name my Etsy shop, and I came up with a bunch of sparrows, and then I thought, well, what about, Chic Sparrow? And that's nice and simple, and it means something to me, most definitely means something to me. So that is what I named my Etsy shop. And so it worked out well for me. And my business has grown since Etsy. Has grown so much. And I just want to tell you all that I am so grateful for my life. And I am just so grateful for all the opportunities that have come to me. I am so grateful that my husband saved me. And I'm grateful to each and every one of you. And just thank you guys so much. Just thank you. And be blessed. Live every day like it's your last. And try to uplift others. You know, be a positive person so that, I mean, and I'm not saying don't be negative, because there's a time and place for that, but try to be a human being that lifts other people up. That is how I try to live my life. So I hope that my little story made sense, and I'm sorry for all the tears, but I hope that by sharing that, one, people will start donating blood. If you're able to, please do. It saves lives, and a lot of times there's not enough blood to help the people that need to be helped. I'm just super grateful for the one that donated that I was able to take, which I understand was 2 people. So thank you very much for that. And yes, it was a surreal experience, but I'm glad it's over and I'm glad I survived. But anyway, 1, donate blood. 2, be a person who lifts other people up. And 3, don't ever think that God doesn't care about you, because He does care about you. You are more important to Him than a little sparrow. And a little sparrow is so important to Him that He makes sure it's taken care of all winter long. So don't think for a moment that He's not going to take care of your needs, because He will. And that's it. That's my story. That's how Chic Sparrow got its name. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to know anything else, please leave a comment down below. Otherwise, go check out my other channel, which is a more personal channel. It's about me, and I share how I do arts and crafts and how I journal, and it's just more a personal story about me. And technically this one probably should be over there on that channel, but I'm putting it here on my Chic Sparrow channel because it's how Chic Sparrow got its name. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and go donate some blood. Thank you.